What's going on, everybody? Showing up the King here, and I'm here to do my Manga weekly review. I know it's a little late. You guys gotta forgive me. I was out of town for a couple of days, so I'm finally getting back into the flow of things, and I'm ready to do this review. Let's get into it. All right, so we're going to start off with Naruto chapter 587. Basically this whole chapter was giving a full detail look at how Izanami works. Um, Through all these panels that they showed, even with detailed, drawings and sketches and circles and loops and shit, at the end of it, I still don't understand how the fuck that shit worked. Excuse my language, but that's just kind of how I was still just like. But basically, again, like I said, Izanami is a counter for Izanagi, and basically they use it to punish the users of Izanagi. So it basically, again, like I said, it puts you in the loop, and that's the genjutsu that you're caught in, and it literally puts you in the loop. But the way that Itachi had it set up is that Kabuto can actually get out if he accepts who he truly is. So I guess Kabuto's entire angle, his whole life is that he's trying to be someone else. He's always, and again, and it answers a lot of questions because why he was interested in Sasuke so much is because he wanted to take Sasuke's abilities, just like he took the Sound Force abilities, just like he took Orochimaru's abilities, and just like he took Orochimaru's underling. I can't remember her name right now, but essentially, he's all his whole purpose is to gather up all the jutsu of other people and become these other people, but not realizing that who he is what's most important. So Itachi is basically trying to teach him that lesson. I mean, clearly, he's a stubborn guy, so that's never going to work. So he's stuck in this thing, and literally, there's not much to say about this chapter. I mean, like I said, overall it was cool. I'm glad they decided to take the angle to try to explain Izanami, but it was just it was just too weird for me. I mean, like I said, you could have just, for me personally, you could have just said, it keeps you in the loop. So, I mean, they went into detail about it. So, some may like it, some may not. Again, like I said, overall, I didn't have an issue with the chapter. I just wish, we could, given that at this point, I'm almost ready to see some other battles that are going on, because essentially what's going on now is that Itachi's going to end Edo Tensei, and what's probably going to happen, and again, this is just my theory, literally the five cages are going to probably be at the brink of death fighting Madara, and right as he's about to deal the death blow, the Edo Tensei will end, pretty much essentially ending the war, because if Itachi ends the Edo Tensei, Madara's gone, the Jinchuriki that's fighting Naruto, they're all gone, and all the people, all the ones that are fighting the other groups of people are just all gone. So all that's going to be left is Madara and the White Zetsus, and they pretty much can't really stand up to anything right now. Well, Madara, the Toby, well he's strong enough. He's going to probably end up fighting Naruto, and then something about Sasuke, something about that whole situation just tells me that Sasuke still isn't going to get the answers that he wanted from his brother, and his brother's going to die right before he gets any answers. And then, I mean, I seriously doubt Sasuke is going to kind of go back to being a good guy. He's still going to somehow, some way going to go back and try to kill the elders of the Leaf, and we're going to still get that Naruto versus Sasuke fight. It's just going to happen. I mean, maybe they'll stop for a moment to team up to fight Toby Madara or whoever he ends up being, but we'll see. So those were my thoughts on the episode of Naruto 587. Let's go ahead and move on to One Piece 668. This episode of One Piece has just wrapped up a great fight with the Yeti Cool brothers, and now we're talking with Luffy talking with Law about this alliance that they're trying to form, and basically, they're trying to talk about who of the main four, head honchos they want to, team up and kill. Now, my thoughts on this is that we got Shanks, and we know there's no way that Luffy will ever fight Shanks. I mean, he looks at Shanks almost like another brother, so I don't see him teaming up to fight Shanks. We have Blackbeard, who was almost a guarantee that you're going to probably try to go up against. So we'll see how that goes. I don't think they're ready to fight Blackbeard yet, with him having Whitebeard's power plus his own. I mean, that dude is like uber powerful. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that. Then we also have, I think her name is Big Mama. She's another one, and I think there was one more. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure you guys will let me know. But most likely they're going to probably either go after Blackbeard or Big Mom or one of the two, because again they're not going to go after Shanks, and that's just something that's not going to happen. So anybody who thinks that that's what's going to happen, you're crazy. Anyway, so basically they're talking about that whole alliance situation, and it's there's a lot of comedy in this chapter. Chopper, his body, Law puts everybody back in their respective bodies except for Nami, because her body isn't close, so she still is not in the right body and she's not happy about it. And, everybody's still trying to talk Luffy out of this whole alliance. I don't understand what their big deal is. I mean, I understand that they probably don't trust Law, but I'm like, he did save Luffy's life, and I know Luffy's just like, yo, you saved my life, I can trust you, let's do this. And again, I'm not even 100% sure I can trust Law, but I mean, if you're talking about taking out one of the emperors, hey, let's do it. Luffy's always looking for a good fight. So, that's my thought on this now. One of the biggest reveals from this chapter for me is when they start talking about hockey, because the big bad on this island is Caesar Clown, and he's a low guy type. Again, I may have said that wrong, so I'm pretty sure somebody will correct me. But his body is like, can liquefy and turn into a poisonous gas, and he's very, very dangerous. And Luffy made the point to state that, I'm sorry, either Luffy or Law who mentioned that only hockey users, no, it was Law, said only hockey users can even stand a chance against Caesar Clown. And Luffy mentioned that, okay, so that means that me, Sanji, and Zoro are the only ones on my team that can use hockey. So this is the first time they've ever mentioned verbally that Sanji and Zoro can use hockey. Now, we all know there's different forms of hockey, so we don't know exactly which one they can use. So it'll be really interesting to see exactly how, because, Zoro's my favorite character. Let me put that out there right now. Zoro is a badass, and that dude is like, him having hockey. If he can like put hockey around his sword somehow, and like some sort of armament, kind of like how Luffy does it, and can like cut through anything, that would be ridiculous. And so we'll see how that goes. So all in all, this episode literally just gave us a couple of answers. They had a bunch of comedy situations going on, with Chopper being upset that he got pummeled by Luffy, and he's blaming both Frankie and Luffy, and they're like blaming each other, and that whole thing going back and forth. So that was the my thoughts on the One Piece 668. Now let's talk about Bleach. Bleach chapter 493. The group is still fighting Kirige, and this Quincy, like, honestly, I would hate to see what the leader, the main guy, what his abilities are, because right now Kirigi, not even being the head guy, and these abilities he's pulling out of the ass is just ridiculous. Like, we already know about the Quincy's ability, because we've seen Quincy's been on the main Bleach squad since the beginning, so we've already seen what Quincy's can do as far as like absorbing Reishi. But not like this, this angel form that he's turned into is just monstrous. Like, he was already strong as hell. He's absorbing the Reishi from the ground, from the air, from like all the stuff surrounding him, making himself stronger. And then Holly Bell's trio, they bring out Aeon, and Aeon is rampaging. Aeon is smashing Kirige. Last chapter. And this chapter, Kirige actually absorbs Aeon. I was like, what? OP? Can you say OP, please? I'm like, he absorbed the Reishi out of Aeon. I was like, are you kidding me? So he absorbs the Reishi from Aeon and absorbs it into his body, and his arm gets like massive, and Aeon's eyes grow in the wings, and it's just like literally it's almost, again, here's another nerd fact, it's almost like from Yu-Gi-Oh! The Thousand Eyes Restrict, where Thousand Eyes Restrict can absorb your opponent's monster and gets its abilities and all that other good stuff. Again, I was just a quick nerd fact. I don't know if you guys out there play Yu-Gi-Oh! At all or remember Thousand Eyes Restrict, but anyway. So I'm wondering if it can only absorb one person at a time. That would be kind of cool to see. But basically, after they absorb Aeon, Holly Bell's trio, they realize we're fucked. We got to get out of Dodge. So she grabs Orihime and Chad, and they try to use some sort of barrier that masks their reishi. And basically, Kirgi breaks through that barrier. It's like the only flaw in that problem is that I'm just way stronger than you. And he's literally about to deal to absorb. Looks like he's about to absorb them. And here comes Ichigo in his Bankai form. He's coming down. And he like smashes him on the top of his head and breaks the little crown. I guess that was absorbing all that information. And it looks like Kirge is pissed, and he's like Bankai, you're a problem, and et cetera, et cetera. So it looks like it actually gave us an answer because earlier in the chapters where head captain Yamamoto, his right hand man was killed, and that's when he said they can steal Bankai. I think that's what happened. I figured that guy that died, he pulled out his Bankai, and one of those guys absorbed his Bankai into himself, and using his combined power plus the Bankai, took him out like it was nothing. So for some reason they can't take Ichigo's Bankai. So we'll probably see next chapter what that whole situation is about. But overall, I really enjoyed the mangas this week. If I had to choose out of the big three, which one I thought was best, I'm going to definitely go with Bleach. It was just with Kirge absorbing Aeon into himself and powering up again. I was just like OP, like seriously. And with just all that going on, and then second place will be One Piece. Finding out that my man Zoro is a hockey user is awesome. And then in last place, last but not least, I'm going to give it to Bleach. I mean not Bleach, but Naruto. I'm definitely ready for this whole Itachi Sasuke thing to end. Honestly, my overall impressions on their fight with Kabuto was a little lackluster. I almost hope when the animated version comes out, they'll beef up that fight a little bit more. I just thought I'd see more. You have two people that can use the Tsukiyomi. They can use Tamaretsu. They can use the whole cloak shield things they have. And I really thought that I would see some more intense battles with them fighting Kabuto, and I felt like I didn't get that completely. Now, again, they tend to do a better job when they bring it to Anime 4, and I'm hoping they do that. But overall, just all the talking and the learning about Kabuto's back history, it's all necessary because, again, we need to fill in those holes before the series ends, and I'm glad they did it. But I just wish they would have either given us a little bit less flashback, a little bit more combat, and, a little less explanation. Because at that point, when they explain what Izanami is, I mean, anybody with have a brain knows it's the groundhog effect. You keep reliving the same situation over and over until you get it right. That's essentially how it is. So, that whole, diagram and showing how the yin and the yang and all that other stuff, it was all unnecessary. But I know they had to do that because, of course, Sasuke is going to probably learn how to use Izanami. And if Madara tries to use Izanagi like he used before when he survived the fight against the other chick from the that was on Pain's team. Karen, I think her name was. Maybe the paper chick. He used it on her, so maybe Sasuke learned that ability to counter his Izanagi. So we'll see. But again, this is Show Off the King. I hope you guys enjoyed this review for One Piece, Bleach, and Naruto. And everything will be back on its regular scheduled programming next week. So you guys have an awesome day.